First of all, no way to learn everything all at once. I think that that's really overwhelming and very hard, and nobody's expecting you to know the answer to everything. I think the best advice is to just do the research as you come across a problem. So it's important to be aware of what's out there, and that's hard. Keeping up with what's out there is very much a task of this role. But if you are seeing all these new features you've never heard of before, it doesn't mean you have to know all of them and use all of them. Use them when they are relevant to you and to your work. And it's okay if you aren't able to keep up with everything. I can't keep up with everything. There's so much out there. You mentioned Elasticsearch and other things. I don't know what's new in Elasticsearch. I don't know what's new in WordPress land. There's so many different specialties that if you just focus on solving the problems that you're solving, working on creating things that are meaningful to you, then that's the right path. And you'll eventually find the solutions that you need as you go. You're always learning. There's no stopping. What are you trying to create with it? That's the focus. It's not about the number of features. It's about how you create a solution. And the simpler, the better. The fewer things you have to integrate, the better. The less code maintenance you have to do in the future, the lower your burden for your, script load will be. So I say keep it simple if you can. Oh, that's a long story because I've been doing it for a while now. I started coding, I guess, first back in the day when Neopets was a thing. It's like this little kids website that had these pet pages where it taught you HTML and CSS. So you can create little home pages for your Neopets. And then I just really enjoyed it. And then when MySpace was a thing, I was making MySpace layouts. And it really was a form of art for me, creativity. And I really like to do graphic design, so I was sort of in the intersection of coding and design just for fun. And eventually I did Flash development.
Wow.
That was really ActionScript 2.0. So that was kind of how I started to get into coding, and then I sort of found my way into a role where I can now be a part of making decisions for the ecosystem around how developers build for the web. But yeah, it's definitely been a long time coming. It doesn't happen in a day. Getting involved in the community was really important for me too. I think that that's something that can really help you stand out, especially as a new developer. Whenever I meet students at these events, I'm always really impressed with, them already working and being a part of the community. And I think that's also a way to get jobs and also stand out from your peers. And having blog. I always tell people who are learning to code to start a blog, to start putting their voice into the community. It's a way to stand out also in interviews, because you have a way to show what you've learned, how you think. It's a way to kind of keep public notes so you can reference them yourself. And not a lot of people do that. And I think that it really helps to make you stand out. Well, it's also your own space. You could do whatever you want there. You could experiment with. You talked about all these new features. If you think it's interesting but it doesn't solve your use case, you can at least say you have experience with it. Try out different things, see what you like, help you find your place. It's a big, big community. It's a big world.